main reason why we are traveling across America, well, Rob is walking across America, and I'm traveling in the RV. The main reason we're doing this is to spread awareness for men's mental health and suicide prevention. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Like, why would someone sacrifice their time, their money, their energy to go all the way across Los Angeles to Florida? Well, they must be doing it for money or fame or something, right? Well, I mean, I've been with Rob this whole time. He's lost a lot of money doing this, spending a lot of money on the RV and traveling and paying me to do this. So yeah, he's not doing it for money. He's not doing it for fame. You know what I mean? Of course, he's trying to spread awareness and get attention on what he's doing, but he really doesn't care about, getting any type of clout from this. So, yeah, man, he truly believes in spreading this awareness. He made a promise to God that if he gets better, he's gonna help someone else out, and that's what he's doing. So, I'm really down with the cause, and I understand what it's about. And we all have mental problems and issues that we go through in life. You know what I mean? Life is gonna beat you up. You're gonna have days where you feel down and you don't want to, get up and do anything. But yeah, that's what life's about. You get knocked down and you get back up. So I love the message. We're gonna keep on pushing. We're almost to Florida, and especially as a man, mental health is super hard to deal with. You just gotta, a lot of people just bottle it up, and then just live with it for the rest of their lives. And you gotta express it somehow. You know what I mean? You gotta let loose. You gotta rest, especially exercise too. You gotta really hit the gym or whatever, do what you gotta do to just unlock that stress, unlock the depression. You gotta really, they don't teach you this in school, but you have to control your mind, control your energy, control your emotions. It's hard to do. You know what I mean? No one teaches you that. So you have to learn it on yourself, learn it by yourself. And it's a hard thing to do. I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? I still get mad and sad, but there's a way to deal with it. When you feel those emotions, you could you understand what you're feeling, and then you could control your actions on how to get rid of those emotions, on how to change the emotions. You got to remember, emotions literally means energy in motion. Energy in motion. So you're constantly going through different emotions, different energies. So you got to remember, that's real. Energy's real. You know what I mean? You have to figure out how to control your emotions. And you control it through actions, through your environment, through your thoughts. Your thoughts are the hugest thing that influence your emotions. So if you're constantly just scrolling or watching BS online, that's going to affect your emotions. So that's a big thing that you gotta take care of. You gotta look out for. That's what I learned. I learned that early, and like I said, I'm not perfect. I still struggle like anyone else, but I have the tools in my mind now to change my emotions and to feel better, and not get stuck whenever I'm feeling sad or mad or whatever. You gotta learn these tools. They're skills. Any skill you have, you gotta keep on practicing it to be better, right? So that's one thing that's some advice I wanted to tell you guys, is to, if you're ever feeling down, depressed, stressed, just remember that it's not permanent. It's good. Like I said, energy flows, it comes and goes. So you just have to realize that, you might feel down one day, but the sun's gonna come out tomorrow and you're gonna feel better. So if you're going through anything, just remember that. What helped me learn about thoughts and imagination and energy and your senses, all that stuff. I read there's a book, NLP. There's a book called NLP, Neurological Learning Practices or something like that. But yeah, I've read a lot of books on the brain and how it works, and self-help books. I know a lot of them are kind of corny and cliche, but a lot of the stuff that I've read, just applies to life I'm using now. So I actually need to get back to that. I need to get back to reading more. But yeah, man, if you're lost and confused like I was in my 20s, early 20s, that's what I would do. I would go get into the library, read self-help books. You literally get to learn, skills and lessons and wisdom from people who've passed, older people, and it's a good way to learn. It's a really good way to learn. YouTube's cool too, but books, there's something about reading a book, sitting down, putting your full focus and reading the words that YouTube doesn't do for you. So I highly recommend sitting down, reading some books and learning about the mind, whatever you're interested about, but yeah, man, just realize life is you got to look at life positively. For a lot of my early 20s, I was looking at it negatively. I was high all the time, numbing myself. But you really got to have a positive outlook on life. I know society beats you down and shows you negativity all the time, but you have to block that out. There's a lot of distractions that you have to block out. You know what I mean? They're always trying to brainwash you. They're always trying to just keep you numb and not thinking for yourself. So you have to do your best to to block all this stuff out. So yeah, that would be my best advice. Really just lock in, think for yourself, learn about things that you want to learn about. School just brainwashed me and I hated school. Never learned nothing from there. So that's just my experience. But yeah, man, this RV life, traveling is going to teach you more about life than any book, any teacher could teach you. So I highly recommend that as well. If you're feeling down or depressed, travel, go to different spots, meet different people, and it'll give you a completely different perspective on life when you travel. And that's what I plan on doing for the rest of my life. I can't live in one spot all the time, you know what I mean? I get bored, I get anxious. I don't like living in one place all the time. I want to be constantly moving and be able to control my environment, because your environment's huge on your mental. So that's the main reason we're doing this, trying to spread awareness, trying to teach especially younger people, younger kids, about their emotions and how to control their emotions. And yeah, man, so much respect to Rob. He inspired me to do this too. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.